Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Enterprise AI in Action Roundtable. And I'm very happy to introduce our AI expert, Pavel Filonov. Welcome to Roundtable, the first one of 2026.
Wonderful. At the beginning of the year, the new topics and new topics to discuss. Thank you, Arseny, for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the topic of the week and maybe topic of January is the launch of Claude Cowork, right? As I understand, it's really probably the first AI agent which works for normal knowledge workers, not for programmers. Maybe, Pavel, we can say a few words because it's a very important trend, I think, in AI development.
Yeah, sure. Because, for example, if we consider the programmer work, it's mostly dealing with code, with systems, debugging, and so on. And it's actually not a lot of people actually need to do such kind of work, which Anthropic provides the solution for. But the new Claude Coworker actually dealing mostly with the documents. Try to summarize them, read documents right on your computer, produce the new one, generate some templates. And actually, if we consider it from the birth point of view, a lot of people actually do such kind of work, just dealing with document processing. And that's
Absolutely.
why I think the integration of different AI agents will be more, we can see it more deeply and widely in different areas during this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really has access to your personal laptop, to your folders, to your files. So it really does a lot of work that a normal knowledge worker would do. But it actually shows the trend that you really give a task to an agent, right? And then the agent actually does everything for you. It may take seconds or minutes or even hours or even days, right? But in the end of the day, you actually get things done. And that's exactly where we see this whole AI trend, the AI revolution moving. And that's why I'm super excited to talk about our own development, right, in the area of hyperware and AI integrations, because we've really developed the integration between LLMs like ChatGPT and Claude and hyperware to allow people to get direct access from their very common user interface that people are used to directly into the platform. Pavel, can you say a few words about how this is realized?
Yeah, sure. We can consider it as a simple idea. If you just use the vanilla any GPT, any chat, it could be Gemini, it could be Claude, it could be ChatGPT. It usually could just replace you the search system. But if you do next steps and connect those systems to other software, to a web browser, to files on your computer, or to some another third-party software you're actually using, you can convert this kind just from search system to this kind of automated agent. And you can actually solve not only the search tasks, you can solve a lot of its different range of tasks. And today we'll be talking about how we introduce the MCP integration. And MCP is a new standard which can third party use to actually provide the access to the systems using modern LLMs. And almost all current vendors who provide the LLMs actually provide the way how you can connect new third parties, and one of such third party could be the hyperware system, which will provide the LLM with all information about your buildings, your parameters, value, dynamics, and so on.
Well, absolutely. And by doing this, we really expand and grow the functionality of hyperware to anything, basically to unlimited functionality, right? Because LLMs can take the data directly from hyperware, analyze the processes, analyze the structures, and act and provide value to users based on that information, even without the functionality of the actual platform, which is great add-on, right, to the things that we've already got. So let me share with you some of the examples that Pavel mentioned, and I want to start with the actual hyperware platform. That's the place where we collect, store, and analyze, process big data, but also we create a digital twin with different types of representations. For example, this is a digital twin of live digital twin of a residential complex near Munich. And we have at least 4 types of representation. One is the P&I diagram, which has the structure and the processes and the interconnections of different systems related to hot water supply and heating. The second representation is a BIM model, and the BIM model comes from the construction phase, right? Third one is the P&I diagram to show all the circuits and all the electrical wirings. And the fourth approach is the panoramic 360 degrees photograph that shows integration of processes and variables exactly on the pictures of the building. So we have all that information stored on the platform, but now we want to go through different use cases and see how LLM can access that information directly, right? And what kind of results and what kind of achievements, right, we can get with the direct integration of LLM and hyperware. All right.
As an example,
it's going to be.
Yeah, for example, we can consider some new employee have to make familiarize what's the new type of building he will be dealing with, and he need to do some kind of onboarding with a little bit of report.
Right. So this is a very, I would say, typical task, right? You have an exactly new employee who knows nothing about, especially if you have a portfolio of buildings, right? And you want to make sure that they understand what's going on. So just with one prompt that you can see on the screen, the system does some very clever things. Pavel can explain a little bit more what's exactly going on. But as a result, we get a full report, which is up to date, which contains all the information about the building, its systems, the history of operations, what was found, what are the typical anomalies, how the system behaves, what are the areas to specifically look at. I mean, it's a full report that is really time-bound. It's not something that was created 5 years ago. It's really based on the recent data. So it gives a full picture of the building to the new employee. Pavel, can you also share your view on this?
Yeah, speaking what actually happens. Right now we see the interface of a Cloud Desktop application. And for example, if you had subscription for Cloud Desktop, you can already connect your instance of hyperware using this called MCP integration. And actually, there is quite a bit of work agent done here. We speed up a little bit this video, but actually he made, I think, more than 50 different requests to the system for different parts of it, and summarize and gather all this information. For example, if we'll try to do it manually, I think it took almost 4 or 5 hours to produce the same report here. And in real time, actually, the video a little bit, we have a speed up effect. In real time, the whole work took, I think, less than 10 minutes here.
Exactly. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, the amount of time that can be saved on the introduction of new hires is absolutely incredible. Okay, let's go to the next use case.
Yeah, after the first step of onboarding, we need to ask maybe for some analyze of historian data. And because hyperware actually stores a lot of historical data on different parameters and observation, we can proceed with this type of analysis. And the analysis by itself actually also made by LLM agent. And as a result, we can also have a full year report, for example. And sometimes it is a really hard task to property manager to have this full-time report about energy consumption, temperature regimes, some kind of maybe malfunctioning of equipment, maybe some kind of predictive maintenance, the critical or non-critical parts of the system. So, for example, such technical report on large building usually you must spend a lot of times to try to dive deep into it. And here you can generate it. I think it took maybe about 15 minutes, also with a lot of requests, but all of this is fully automated. So only the initial prompt was given to the agent, and after that, he just figured it out all by himself.
Right, just one prompt, exactly. So there were no extra prompting, just one prompt, and that's how we got it. Okay, fantastic. It really saves a lot of time for facility managers and property managers. So instead of taking all the data from different sources, boom, you get it in a few minutes. Okay, let's
I think
go.
the important part here also to mention what we actually see, not the already prepared template, because it's
Right.
also a lot of work to prepare such kind of templates. But here the agent also generated the template by himself.
Right. So it knows the best practices, or we can have like a system prompt, right? That helps the agent to have a specific format or specific structure of these reports. And then every time we ask to generate it, it uses kind of a template approach, right? Or let's say, best case approach. So it knows exactly how many sections we should have and what should be taken care of and so
Yeah,
on.
and it's mostly because of its MCP integration, because it's provide not only the access to data by itself, but one of important part of MCP is provider to provide additional prompts. So actually, you can start with the simple one, but in the middle of some steps, the agent will actually use more complicated prompts from our systems.
Right. Okay. And it's already built, right? So again, I want to say that this is something that you can try right now and see how it works on your own historical data. So let's move to another case. Pavel, go ahead.
Yeah, a little prompt when we want to ask analysis of specific type of equipment. For example, what was with our heat pump on January 14? And here we can also see the functionality not only generating text documents, but also drawing the graphs, do some kind of additional calculations, highlight some interesting observations. The interesting point here, we also can generate such kind of graphics in System UI, but usually on ad hoc analysis, we need this only once. And for
Right.
example, for next question, we will need another dashboard. The dashboard are usually for things and parameters which should be used on daily basis.
Yes, standard
But
ones, exactly.
yeah, standard ones. But speaking about some kind of historical analysis, some kind of dive deep into some anomalies or situation, usually we need to provide more additional charts. And here we can see how LLM agents can actually generate the code. So it also works as a programmer here to draw this kind of charts using the data provided by hyperware.
Right. So the platform is really the key library, right, of all the structures, all the data, right? And we provide an extra layer of functionality with LLMs that take that data and converts it into something the user wants right now, regardless of whether we have it already in the user interface or not, right? So it's really amazing shift in the paradigm of how systems work, right?
So
You
you
can do.
won't be spending a lot of time trying to find out the dashboard you actually need, because usually for large buildings there are a lot of parameters, so it's a lot of dashboards. But
Mhm.
if you want to just take a look on some specific situation or specific type of equipment, all you need just to ask.
Right.
And the system will provide you with text analysis, the chart analysis, and additional elements of visualization.
Yeah, and it knows because it has the structure based on the digital twin, and it has all the data of the different processes. Okay, so let's move
Yeah,
to
all this magic works only because of integration and only because the hyperware actually knows the data.
yeah, it has the
So
data exactly
you
as we.
will not achieve such kind of result using vanilla ChatGPT or Cloud Desktop. Only with integrated with your digital twin of your building in hyperware.
Exactly. I mean that's the beauty of the digital twin approach because you really have understanding of the building structure of all the metadata and the processes related to it. Okay, so let's move to another prompt, to another use case.
Yeah, just a simple prompt when we find out some new element and, for example, we are not familiar with this type of equipment, we can just ask and have more information about the current regimes, configs, and so on.
So, for example, if we have a distributed network, right, and distributed portfolio of different buildings, and we have a centralized system, right, and of course, people in the center may not know everything. This is a unique tool to get a quick update or quick information about some specifics in some of the remote, for example, remote buildings very quickly and efficiently and accurately. Okay.
I think sometimes maybe even the people who live in this building can have a lot of interesting experience with access to such kind of information about their flat, for example.
Yeah, also an option, because it's all available through this integration with. You don't need to know the user interface of the software. You just use something that you're familiar with, right? Which is your LLM or Claude or ChatGPT user interface.
Yeah, and in this scenario, EMEA and Arseny suppose what actually a lot of engineers, a lot of people who work in also building industry maybe already familiarize themselves with a solution like the ChatGPT or Claude Desktop. And if they not, they definitely will be in this or next years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. We see the development of this so fast. Okay. One more case I wanted to show of this integration. Pavel, microphone to you.
Yeah, also a question about the system, because if we would try to find the question just looking on the schemes, it actually could take a lot of time. But here we can just ask question, and here we provide the examples using the English language, but the system understands actually thousands of different languages, and it can translate the answers to it. So if you try to speak in Spanish or in German, it will just translate all the documentation on the fly, and usually the translation is pretty good. Sometimes better, I think, even than Google Translate by itself.
What's also interesting, if you have, for example, specific names of or specific models of equipment that is installed, right, and then you have the instruction manuals uploaded into the system, then it can actually help you to identify potential issues or understand error codes and things like this, and give you some help in how to handle specific equipment. And you don't need to go and read the manuals and check different languages.
Just right here, we see the examples, what the initial documentation was in German, and the system automatically annotates what the Trinkwarmwasser means, what is Zemetic hot water.
Yeah, exactly. So, this really helps to manage multinational, right, multi-language sites and portfolios, and make it easier for people of different, different languages and different expertise to handle such cases. So it's really unique functionality again, because you have a foundation with digital twin and big data, right? And then you have a level of functionality of LLM that can handle, analyze, and provide all the necessary reporting, analytics, and anomaly detection based on that. Okay, fantastic. So just
I think the important part here, before we go to the question, will be the following. Here we show the examples using the Cloud Desktop application, assuming that our users have subscription to the cloud by itself. But in other situations, hyperware actually can provide their own UI with own built-in LLM agents with our integrations. So the subscription actually is not mandatory here.
Yeah, the Hyperbot that we developed and demonstrated last year is actually another version of doing this, right? If you're already in the platform, if you just want to use LLM interface. So we have both options, right? Through Hyperbot, and through LLM interface. Okay.
That's right. Really, and speaking not only about Cloud Desktop, but modern versions of ChatGPT also have this better functionality of configuring the third-party MCP server, and hyperware can be easily configured.
Cool.
I hope we'll provide the actual links to the vendor's documentation, how you can actually integrate the hyperware to one of your LLMs. For example, if you already have subscription, or if you have not, you can use the hyperbot, which is built in hyperware UI.
Platform, yeah. So as we said, this functionality, this integration is already implemented. So you can try it out. You can check it out on the website. So if you go to hyper.com, we have a special page where you can upload your historic data, right? And then we would provide you a demo site, right? Or a demo access to the platform with your own data, where you can try this functionality with AI anomaly detection, with MCP integration. You would need to create a token for authorization, but this is all done pretty quickly and easily. And then you can have the access to your data, to the digital twin using the LLMs. We see that Claude desktop works best at the moment. We really like that solution, but at the same time, it can be other LLMs that have MCP integration. Pavel, would you like to add anything?
I think it's also interesting example here, maybe in future to compare, because if you have just one CSV file with your data, you can also try just to upload it without any integrations to ChatGPT or Claude Desktop. But if you will provide with MCP interface, it's have much more complex, interesting behavior. And for example, if your original data is large enough, actually right now it just must be larger than few megabytes, and the vanilla LLMs already can actually make a lot with it. But if you upload it and integrate it with hyperware platform, it's your data will be split into different chunks of information, and this kind of portions of chunks, modern AI agents works pretty good. All
right. So again, if you're interested, make sure you visit our website and try it out. Leave us a message, and we will help you to demonstrate this functionality. All right. Any questions from the audience today before we finish? No. Good. So thanks, everybody, and we look forward to driving this AI revolution with you, because it's really amazing the capabilities that are offered by integration of hyperware and modern AI, generative AI systems is absolutely incredible. So this really helps you to drive your productivity, increase efficiency, and make sure that you can achieve much more with the data that you have already on the hyperware platform.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I think we present the real important steps, and I'm sure that during this year we will show more and more interesting use cases of such kind of integration.
Exactly. So look forward to discussing it with you later this year, Pavel. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a great day, everyone.